What was the hardest moment in your life?
When Aaliyah died, when people die, that's the shit that's the hardest.
I played out in my head what that would feel like for me.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I couldn't get there. My brain wouldn't let me go all the way.
You don't want to go there. It's a pain that you couldn't understand.
You mentioned at the start of this conversation that you went and had therapy to understand yourself a little bit and to understand your triggers and what was triggering you and where that came from. What age did that happen?
Well, being a child like myself, I was always put in therapy no matter what, but I didn't talk. But as I got older, like when Aaliyah died, I just always was looking at it like I might need a consultant that didn't have a dog in the fight to tell me if my actions were right or wrong or to give me advice, sort of like a consigliere. But what I understand about therapy is Black people don't get it. So the study of therapy doesn't come from our trauma. It comes from other people. So when we finally do get it, it's in the wrong language. So we have to find therapists that actually speak our language that come from similar traumas and so they know how to talk to us. So that's why I have a program called Healing is Gangster. Taj, he's also in the commission, is a therapist that's been through everything, if not more. And now is actually got his doctrine and he's a therapist, you know what I mean? And that's the person I talk to daily. Like anytime that I'm unsure about how to react to certain things, the times I'm the most unsure is with my children. And that's when I call him. But then, you know, I had to fight to even be able to see my daughters. So I had to go to court-ordered therapy, and I learned a lot there about how to raise my daughters. So the difference between 25-year-old Damon and 50-year-old Damon, 25-year-old Damon would have thought, because I had Boogie, I was a single father. No one ever talks about that. Went to court and got him. But I used to bring him into my environment and thought that was fathering. But with a child, you have to go to your child's environment. And I needed therapy to actually show me that, how much better it is for me to become a 7-year-old than for my 7-year-old to have to become a 50-year-old. You understand what I'm saying? And be in a place that they don't care about. See, the things that you care about as an adult, your kids don't care about. Just think about what you cared about at certain ages. So you'd be like, oh, you know, they don't care. None of my kids care about any famous people. They don't even know them until they get older. They don't care about anything that I had because that's all they know. It's not like a big deal. It's not like a comparison. Like they're not in another, you know, life where they're, you know, some social class below. And then they're like, oh, you know what I mean? It's just what they know. They just want time and they want you to do what they're doing and they want you to speak in their language. And that's what I've learned. That's why I've made all of these with my girl for my son. She's made children's books and syllabuses from the womb to 3 years old and all this programming on how to interact with your child. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm a way better parent now, which is most important.
What was the hardest moment in your life?
When my mom's died, when Aaliyah died, when people die, that's the shit that's the hardest. But everything else is easy.
When I read about, well, I obviously remember the news, the global news when Aaliyah died, but when I read about it before you came here, now that I'm in a relationship with someone that I love, I tried to play out, well, I played out in my head what that would feel like for me.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I couldn't get there. My brain wouldn't let me go all the way.
You don't want to go there. It's a pain that you couldn't understand. But surviving that pain has made me very cool.
What was that period of your life like?
It was sad, but you know, things were going on. So it was like it was me organizing myself to still be strong, because when people see that you're weak, they attack, and people were actually getting cute. It was me proving to myself that I'm a real general, that I could work with a broken heart.
Is there a cost to that, always being strong?
Nah. I'm not saying that I didn't feel. I'm just saying I had to learn I had to lead by example. So in that moment, I was like, the way I react to this is how every single person that looks up to me is going to react when they lose someone they love. You understand what I mean? And, you know, being at, you know, when you're running, or you're the, you know, not to say, when you're the head and you're a lot of different people are depending on your strength, it's a life I've chosen. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So when you choose to be a certain way or take a certain role, like I would rather do that than sit around and be sad. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to sit around and be sad. You know, for me, it's like life. I have so much fun that when natural tragedies happen, when things happen that are going to happen to people, just, you know, a matter of when, I can't let that fuck up my fun. It's just the test. But, you know, it takes reading and therapy to organize, to be able to move at a professional level. But, you know.
Your 5 children. If they're to be successful and happy in their lives, what lessons are you imparting on them to set them up for success and happiness?
You know, the thing is, the people that are the hardest to talk to are my children, you know. But I think my daughter Ava, who's been through as a youngster, been through the wars and all that, but like where she is now, I really feel good about my parenting skills because she knows what happiness is. And she just loves the family so much. I don't really think that way with my children. You know what I mean? It's just like, I just want them to be happy. And I just feel like it's my job to make sure that they're happy. But if they don't find it on their own, and the thing about children, when you have children, is after a certain age, they're not children no more. So you can be like, I got children. I don't have 5 kids. I have like 3 adults. You know what I'm saying? Or at least 2. But they're still my kids. So if they're not happy, then I want to make sure they are. If their dreams, like my job is to make my kids' dreams come true. But they have to know what they are.
Do your kids know what their dreams are?
Nah. It's a conversation I have often with them. And I'd be having like, yo, write it down. They don't even listen to me. I'd be like, should I get paid to say they don't listen to for free, you know? But they're still perfect to me. You know, it's hard because the good thing about like baby Dusko, my son, is that Rocky is instilling everything that I'm instilling. There's no contradictions. Like if I say something, she's not saying I'm wrong. So there's no choice that has to be made. We're both instilling the same thing. So I'm curious to see how that one's going to work out. All my kids are different. All of them.
We have a closing tradition on this podcast where the last guest asks a question for the next guest. They don't know who they're asking it for, and I don't get to see it till I open the book. The question that's been left for you is, what are you most missing in your life? It actually says, what are you missing most in your life?
Right now, I'll be missing my children because they're all doing their own thing and I can't never get them all at one time. You know what I mean? Like I got to get like a day, a couple times a year that all my kids, like I'm always with 3 at a time or 2. I never have them all in the same house. I'm missing that. I'm missing my daughters a lot because I've been on the road. I miss Aaliyah. I'm always curious, like if Aaliyah and Rocky knew each other, what that would look like. You know what I'm saying? Because I see so much of, like Rocky has a lot of similarities to Aaliyah that people would not even understand.
You still miss her?
Yeah. Yeah. She was the coolest. Like, you know, unless you were able to experience her, it'd be hard for you to understand. But she still is. She was magic. But again, the type of magic she is, it was like when I never thought I'd see that magic again, but I saw it in Raquel in a very unsuspecting place, which was odd. But yeah, she was different. And, you know, to me, like in history, I think she'll go down as probably the coolest woman singer, coolest of all time. And when she was alive, she was like, had that aura of coolness, of being the coolest. And she told me I was the coolest. You feel me? So, you know, what does your life look like? Or how do you feel about yourself when Aaliyah tells you that you're the coolest? And Aaliyah.
Yeah.
You understand? Thank you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What kind of confidence do you have?
It's a big
What
question.
kind of validation do you have when you could really be like, Aaliyah told me I was the coolest person she ever met. A lot of people have told me that, but Aaliyah told me that.
If you love the Diary of a CEO brand and you watch this channel, please do me a huge favor. Become part of the 15% of the viewers on this channel that have hit the subscribe button. It helps us tremendously, and the bigger the channel gets, the bigger the guests.